Mammography is one of the best screening tools to find breast cancer.
Breast cancer may not be preventable, but you can survive it through early detection. If you're a mother or grandmother, sister or best friend,
aunt or cousin,
we encourage you to know your risk, make healthy lifestyle choices, and to know what's normal for your body.
Get screened, get your mammogram annually.
We did!
An explosive PHA audit highlights a culture of corruption. Another setback in government's efforts to amend the Constitution. However, the opposition calls it a cop-out. Plus, a look at the new CLB president's salary. We've got those stories and a whole lot more coming up tonight. I'm Bonnie Tood, and NB12 starts now. Topping news tonight, Chairman of the Public Hospitals Authority Frank Smith confirmed today he has read a PHA audit which highlights a culture of slackness and corruption. It also alleges that $10 million worth of drugs at Princess Margaret Hospital remained unaccounted for at the end of last year. Though the report is dated March 31st, Health Minister Dr. Perry Gomez has not tabled it in the House of Assembly.
No comment.
Hi, Mr. Gomez.
No comment.
I just want to get you in a PHA audit.
No comment.
But are you aware of it at all?
Heard about it.
Pardon?
No comment.
No, but, do you have any concerns at all? Have you read it? The audit?
How you doing? No comment. No comment.
Health Minister Dr. Perry Gomez was tight-lipped today as NB12 attempted to get his views on a forensic audit of the PHA's pharmaceutical drugs and medical supplies.
You need a lot of time to do that. But I ain't got time right now.
Give us a time we can speak to you about
Another time. I'll call you in to do it.
Okay, so you're sure no comment about the male practice at the PHA at all?
The audit revealed that at the end of 2013, some $10 million worth of drugs remained unaccounted for. The report obtained by the Nassau Guardian cited an earlier internal assessment that the pharmacy's physical inventory did not match the supply documented in its computer system, and there was no satisfactory explanation for this. The report concluded that a culture of slackness and corruption was ultimately to blame. PHA Chairman Frank Smith also refused to comment on the allegations, but said this much.
No comment at this time. There are a number of audits that have been performed, but no comments at this time.
Are you aware of this audit that was reported on? Are you aware of that?
Yes, I'm aware of it.
Did you read it?
Yes, I've read
Were
it.
you shocked by anything that was in it?
No comment at this point in time.
When do you plan to comment on it?
Very soon, very soon.
Former Health Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis didn't have too much to say either.
Allow me to review before I make a proper statement.
Neither did former Health Minister Dr. Bernard Nottage.
Slackness and corruption, the PHA. I'm not commenting on the PHA at all.
Auditor John Bain also revealed that at least one approved wholesaler took advantage of weaknesses in the materials inventory procurement process to reuse a purchase order number at least 100 times. According to that report, this wholesaler also failed to deliver goods as contracted, was overpaid by PHA, and held on to the overpayment until asked to return the funds or provide the goods. This wholesaler is still on the approved listing of PHA, though. When pressed on if he was aware of this alleged culture of slackness and corruption during 2007 and 2012 when he served as health minister, Minnis said this.
I do not have any knowledge of it. I would not condone corruption.
Minnis also commented briefly on the alarming claim that nurses do not record dispensed drugs, disobey physicians' orders and provide different doses to patients, and hoard drugs and supplies.
That's in the act. Nurses can, especially in the Family Island, that we don't have sufficient physicians or pharmacists. The Pharmaceutical Act allows nurses to dispense medication.
There's been no evidence in the past under your tenure, for example, that they've not followed procedure?
No, I cannot recall. I cannot recall.
The auditor called the PHA's procurement system defective, noting it allows for the continued control of the market by a cartel of pharmaceutical suppliers and suppliers of medical and surgical supplies using a theory called selective tendering. He said this process effectively excludes new entrants into the marketplace and introduces extreme risks of bid rigging, collusion, kickbacks, and corruption. In other news, the highly anticipated vote on the constitutional amendment bills in the House of Assembly has been delayed again. Leader of Government Business in the House, Dr. Bernard Nottage, says that's because they do not have the full support of opposition members. However, opposition MPs called it a cop-out. Kyle Joaquin reports.
There appears to still be no unity between the government and the opposition when it comes to the fourth constitutional amendment bill. However, the FNM feels this should not stop the government from moving forward, as it didn't stop them when they were pushing forward with the revised gaming bill.
The chair will have to put an end to it, and the chair gave you an opportunity, member for Fort Charlotte, but I think you took that to a different. We're not going there. The chair is not going there.
And that's Fort Charlotte MP Dr. Andre Rollins being told to take his seat after House Speaker Dr. Kendall Major said he's gone too far. The intended third reading of the fourth constitutional amendment bills was put off again today after Leader of Government Business in the House of Assembly, Dr. Bernard Nottage, said the government will not move forward because 3 or 4 opposition MPs have expressed concern with Bill number 4, which seeks to end discrimination based on sex. NB12 has learned those MPs are East Grand Bahama MP Peter Turnquest, Montague MP Richard Lightbourne, Central Grand Bahama MP Nico Grant, and St. Anne's MP Hubert Chipman. But what Rollins' question is whether the Prime Minister is afraid he may want to step down if the referendum on gender equality fails.
The question we have to ask as responsible members of Parliament is the government seeking political cover by insisting that all of the members of the opposition support it, for fear that if it fails when it's taken to the public, the leader of government would be asked to resign, as the leader of the government in Scotland had to resign.
Member for Fort Charlotte. I think we're going too far with this.
It's a fair question.
I think we're going too far. Member, just take a seat. Resume your seat. Member, resume your seat. The chair, resume your seat.
Marco City MP Greg Moss also found himself bucking heads with Nottage after the Bain and Grantstown MP said he was flabbergasted at the accusations coming from him.
We explained to you why we want bipartisanship. Yes. And everybody in here who is a politician understands that, yes, and understands the importance of that. We want to pass the bills in Parliament, and we want the bills to be successful in the referendum. Yes. We want women to be treated equal to men. That is the objective. And that is the only objective.
I'm not accusing anyone of anything, but I am saying that the effect of it, to me, is very clear. I will lay over the cases saying how that affects for those persons who have a concern with the legal theory behind it. And if that is not the effect that one wants, then I'm saying the simple expedient is to provide a proviso which the Constitutional Commission itself originally recommended, although I think the wording is watered down, and as to which I've suggested a stronger wording.
Moss says the government must understand that the word sex doesn't just speak to a person's genitalia, but also their sexuality. The referendum initially was set for November 6th, but was delayed upon the recommendation of the Constitutional Commission over concerns there isn't enough time for the educational process. Well, today the blame is being thrown on the opposition. East Grand Bahama MP Peter Turnquest says the government is simply using the opposition as a cop-out.
But the fact that there are 2 or 3 or 4 members that may have a problem with a particular bill should not preclude the government from moving forward with the referendum if they are serious about it. At the end of the day, Mr. Speaker, they need 2/3 to pass. 2/3, Mr. Speaker. And they have 3/4. And they have the numbers, Mr. Speaker. They don't even need us. They have the numbers. And so it is a cop-out to try to blame the opposition.
Members,
this thing.
Long Island MP and Deputy Leader of the Opposition, Loretta Butler Turner, said she's disappointed that the bipartisanship she anticipated is not coming to reality.
Mr. Speaker, it is sad that once again we reach this hiccup in the road, but I will remain steadfast, and like I said, I know that I speak on behalf of my leader because he has stood in this place in unity with the governing side. And so I hope that we can move past this impasse and that we will reach a position where we do realize that not 100% of the Bahamian people will support this, but the majority will.
Nottage has offered for the committee to meet with the opposition to see if they can somehow gain unity on the issue. Reporting for NB12, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
As political squabbling over the constitutional amendment bills continues, the woman spearheading government's educational campaign says she agrees with the delay as long as plans to hold a referendum next year are not forgotten. However, a respected religious leader disagrees. Jasmine Brown has that angle.
Nottage says now that the referendum has been pushed back, the Constitutional Commission is confident that it can educate the voting public in time. The referendum was originally slated to be held on November 6th. Nottage admitted that the delay is needed to ensure there is a proper educational campaign on the complex issues.
I'm happy with the delayed period of that space for further public education. I don't want, however, for us to go to sleep on it and just all of a sudden you hear nothing. And I want this, what I call educational exercise, to continue and to be that much larger in making available to our people the opportunity to ask these questions. They're crucial.
Asked about the referendum delay to 2015, Gomez said he believes there has been sufficient discussion about the various issues.
I thought that we have had a sufficient amount of discussion of the issues because the issues are so few. That, but if people require more time, then I suppose it's reasonable to provide the time. But my own view is that enough has been said about them that people should now be in a position to vote yes or no.
While they disagreed on that point, they agreed on another, saying the non-issue of same-sex marriage has muddied the water when it comes to the referendum. Gomez said Bill number 4 is the most important. He added that the language used does not open the door to homosexual practices or marriage.
Bill number 4 is the most important of all the bills because it deals with the principle of man and woman being equal in law. That is, each human being is equal in law. And the language used does not open the door to homosexual practice, or certainly it does not open the door to homosexual marriage. So persons who are trying to say that the provisions in the fourth bill open the door to homosexual marriage simply don't seem to understand the reasoning that homosexuals use. And if homosexuals try to use what is in the bill as a door, they're contradicting their own principles.
Speaking to Bill number 4, Nottage said there are those who will not be comfortable with any answer.
They fear that there is somehow a door being opened. They can't quite see it, and I don't see it, right? But they feel that maybe the legislators or the people who know more, and we don't know, are doing something that is deceptive. Can I use that word? And so they fear that. But you have to be able to sit and go through the law with them and say, look, let's take it piece by piece. Can this be done by the legislators without your approval? And if it cannot be done without your approval, then when are you going to be content that until that happens, this is the law? And this is where the law should be.
She adds that despite the challenges along the way, the process is going well. Reporting for NB12, I'm Jasmine Brown.
When NB12 returns, the DNA denies Brett Mitchell's rent-a-crowd claim, so stay with us.